cook snack recipes to impress. So these are really, really easy recipes that really anybody can make, but they feel a little bit elevated and special, and they're really delicious. I'm going to be showing you 2 sweet and 1 savory. I definitely saved my favorite for last, and we'll do a little taste test so you can really get an idea of what they taste like, and I'll show you some fun ways to customize them as well. These would be great for a festive movie night, a socially distanced get-together, or just to add to your weekly meal prep routine, because I feel like it's really nice and just kind of feels homey to have some simple but homemade snacks on hand ready to go for the week. So I really hope you guys enjoy this video. All the recipes that you see in this video are going to be linked in the description box below, and that's also where you'll find a link to Try Thrive Market. I partnered with Thrive to bring you this video because it's where I found a lot of my favorite staple snack ingredients and pantry staples that are honestly so much cheaper than at my regular grocery store, and they get shipped straight to my house. So if you're not a member, definitely check out the description box below. But for now, let's get started with our first recipe.
The first recipe is a pumpkin spice granola bark, and you can make it whatever flavor you want, but the trick is to have some really creamy vegan chocolate and crunchy granola on top. So to start, we're just going to melt some chocolate. The trick to microwaving chocolate without burning it is just to do 10 seconds and then stir, then 10 more seconds and stir until it is completely melted like this. Then we're just going to spread this out into an even layer. You want to make sure that it's nice and thick. You don't want it to be too thin. And then you're going to sprinkle on your toppings. I'm going to start with some granola, and I'm using a pumpkin spice granola, but you can use your favorite granola here. Definitely be generous and then pat the granola into the chocolate so that it sticks. Then we're going to go ahead and add so much flavor with some pumpkin pie spice and a little sprinkle of sea salt. I know it seems like a very simple, straightforward dessert, but honestly, this is so flavorful, and it's because we take the extra step to season with the cinnamon and then bring out all of that sweetness and kind of balance the flavors with a little bit of flaky sea salt. Now you could stop there if you want, but I like to really layer on all the toppings and add even more texture and flavor with some cinnamon wrapped cashews. You can do any nut that you like, and you just want to chop it into nice chunky crunchy pieces. I also added some vegan sprinkles because I just think it looks really beautiful, and again, it just adds a little bit more texture and flavor. You want to make sure that you drizzle on more chocolate when you add more toppings, because that's really going to help hold everything together, and once it is set, it is ready to serve.
This is what I meant by meal prepping. I just think it's so nice to have this waiting for you, and you can tell it's cold because I had it in the freezer. I actually really love cold chocolate. But you could definitely keep it in the fridge or just in a very cool place in your kitchen. I just got one of those cinnamon cashews. Probably have chocolate everywhere, but you guys, that is so good. That pumpkin spice flavor really, really comes through and just makes it feel really festive for this time of year. If you happen to be watching this video not in the fall time, you could definitely do regular cinnamon, or you could leave it out if you want, but I think that pumpkin spice really takes it to the next level. I really think the star of the show with this chocolate, and really with all chocolate that I make at home, is the flake sea salt. This is a finishing salt, so you don't want to use this in place of your regular salt when cooking because it's really flaky and thick, kind of like a little bit like the pretzel salt that you get on a pretzel. So it has a lot of flavor, and it really just sharpens the sweetness and kind of adds some balance, and I think it really makes the pumpkin spice flavor come out even more. So that is so delicious. I can't wait for you to try it and let me know what you think.
Next up, we have the very highly requested PB&J cups, and I've been making these every single week because they're the perfect thing to have on hand when you just want a little something sweet that's really satisfying. So I'm just going to melt chocolate the same way as before and then fill up a mini muffin tin about halfway full. Then I'm going to add some jelly and natural peanut butter right to the center. And this is one of those situations where more is not more. You don't want to overfill this with peanut butter, otherwise they won't stay together properly. I like to just add it right into the center and then cover with a little bit more chocolate. Then I'll just take the entire tray and kind of drop it onto the counter a few times just to flatten out the surface. And this is optional, but I like to add a little bit of sea salt or some chocolate chips on top and then pop these into the freezer just for about 10 to 15 minutes to set. After that, they're ready to serve, and this chocolate is so nice and creamy, and the filling just gives these so much flavor. I honestly prefer the homemade kind because they are so good.
And that peanut butter and jelly is such a good combo. I specifically think that raspberry jelly is the best option for this recipe because it's not too sweet and it has a little bit of tart acidity and brightness that I think really pairs well with the nuttiness from the peanut butter and the creamy sweetness from the chocolate. I think it all just works really, really well. And if you didn't want to use raspberry jam, you could obviously do another kind of jam. Thrive has a really amazing selection of naturally sweetened organic jams, so I tend to stock up. And strawberry would be another really great option. But I also really like just using a actual fresh raspberry. Now that's gonna mean that the chocolates don't last as long. It's kind of like when you have chocolate strawberries, you should eat them within a couple of days. But if you have the jelly, they can last for a lot longer in the fridge or freezer. So that's just one thing to keep in mind, but biting into it with the actual fresh raspberry is really, really good as well. And again, just a little unexpected, a little different, and gives it that homemade touch. The other thing I wanted to show you was this peanut butter powder. If you bite into like a traditional store-bought peanut butter cup, you'll notice that it's not just regular peanut butter on the inside, that it has like a little more texture and it's almost like a peanut butter dough. And I find that if you mix some peanut butter with a dehydrated peanut butter powder like this one, you will get a really similar texture that is maybe your preference. I actually really like the creaminess of the peanut butter, so I don't use this, but that would be a really good way to get a thicker consistency of your peanut butter. Some people also use powdered sugar to thicken it up. However, I find that that makes the peanut butter a little too sweet because you already have the chocolate. But if that's what you want to do that. That's good too. Whatever you like is, I mean, that's the fun of cooking, right? Like you can kind of customize it and figure out what you like. And anyway, I thought I would show you this. Now we're going to get to the last no-cook snack recipe, and this is a savory one, and it is so good. So let's do that.
This really is the ultimate semi-homemade snack, and it looks a lot more impressive than it actually is. So all you have to do is create a base. You want to do 2 parts of a lightly salted snack. Popcorn and pretzels are great. Then 1 part is going to be a savory roasted snack mix. I like doing one that has something crunchy like banana chips or plantain chips, as well as some roasted savory nuts like pecans and cashews and almonds. And then the last part is going to be something spicy, and I like to do a mix of these sticky rice chips. These are a little bit sweet and a little bit spicy with sriracha, as well as some wasabi peas. This mixture really is the perfect ratio so that you get something that is really flavorful, that is visually very intriguing, but also has that perfect mix of salty, crunchy, savory, a little bit spicy, and ever so slightly sweet. It is absolute heaven. I think the easiest way to mix this together is in a big bowl and then use 2 wooden spoons to kind of toss it together the way that you would mix together a salad, and that way everything is very evenly incorporated. And you could stop here if you wanted to keep this a no-cook recipe, but I find that if you pop it in the oven for just like 5 minutes to warm up, it really takes it to the next level. Like I said, it's totally optional, but it really does elevate an otherwise very simple snack mix into something that feels a little bit more special, and it's perfect for movie night or for a get-together. It just looks really beautiful with all the colors, and especially if it's warm, it's just so good.
That is honestly like my dream salty, crunchy snack. Like if I could just design, well, I guess I did design my perfect crunchy salty snack, but the reason I love it is not only are there so many different flavors going on and it's just really, really satisfying, but also because there's a lot of variation in the texture, you know, so you have some really crunchy bits, you have some more delicate crunchy, and you have just all these different kind of cool, airy, crunchy, roasted nuts and banana chips and all these things that are so good. Takes it to the next level, and it is so satisfying and delicious, as are all of the recipes that I showed you in this video. I genuinely love them so much, and I can't wait for you to try them, so please check out the description box below for the recipes so that you can make these at home. The description box is also where you will find a link to Try Thrive Market, and that is where I love to get a lot of my favorite vegan snacks, as well as some of my baking essentials, pantry goods. Pricier items like olive oils and coconut oils are always at a really great price on Thrive Market, and that is why I shop there every single month. So if you guys want to become a member, check out the link in the description box, and I will see you guys in a video very soon. Bye!